Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Jennifer Yarbrough, and I am really excited to have this opportunity to speak with you today about 10 ways of showing impact through your nonprofit organization. I've got over 30 years of experience in doing this work and helping nonprofit leaders start, grow, and to sustain their businesses. And so I'm really excited to be able to share this training with you. I want you to realize that 98% of your donors give because of impact. 98% of your donors give because of impact. All right. And so as we go through this training today, and I talk to you about the 10 ways of showing impact, these are going to be ways that you want to educate, inspire, inform, engage, influence your donors, your potential donors, your communities, your perspectives, to really know the value in the work that you do as a nonprofit organization so that they can connect with it, so they can see it up front, up close, and really begin to realize the value of your work and the investment, the return on investment, and that investment being their contribution, their time, their resource, their sharing your program and impact. All right. So I want you guys to be prepared to take some notes. And again, if you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out to me. I'll leave my contact information at the end. All right. So let's begin. The definition of impact. What is impact? And I'm always talking about impact, and I'm always saying that activity is not impact. Activity is not impact. So, what is impact? Impact is the difference your nonprofit makes, the difference. So, there's the work that you do, and then there's the result that flows from that work. All right. So, let me say that again. Impact is the difference your nonprofit makes. So there's the work that you do, and then there's the result that flows from that work. Okay. So again, 98% of your donors give because of impact. That then means that they give because of the difference that your nonprofit makes in the community. So they are funding the change, not the activity, the change, not the activity. So again, as I go through these 10 ways of sharing and showing the change, the return on the donor's investment, their understanding and the clarity of the work that you do, I hope that this is more cleared for you as you begin to immediately share impact. Again, 98% of your donors give because of impact. All right, so the number one way to show impact to your donors is clarity of vision, mission, and strategy. Being very clear about not only the vision of what you do, as in the idea, right? Idea is not the same thing as impact. The idea is not the same thing as passion. We need to be clear about what problem are we solving, clear about our mission to make change in what area, being clear about the strategy in which you're going to bring about that change. The program itself is that instrument, is that tool of change, okay? So when you now are showing and sharing impact with your contributors, you're being as clear as possible in describing your vision, your mission, and your strategies. And there's lots of ways that you can do that. You can do that in the face-to-face conversations. You can do that in exchange of email. You can do that through pictures and testimonials, and just really being able to share in different ways how clear you are about the problem, how clear you are about your organization being the solution, how clear you are about the change and what the benefit of that is, not just to the people that you serve, but to the community at large, okay? People support you because they value both your vision and the activities you're doing towards accomplishing that vision. All right. So people support you because they value your vision. They buy into your mission. They're in agreement that the vision and mission is important to the community at large. And so that's why it's really important that you are clear in communicating not just the activities, the camping or the feeding or the clothing. Those are the activities, but really being clear about the vision, and being able to express that in several different types of way, because again, 98% of your donors give because of impact. Number two way of showing impact to your supporters and your contributors or potentials would be to describe what differentiates you, your organization, from others, right? So you've got to be very clear about who else is within your space, is doing work similar to yours. Again, we're not duplicating services. Your role as a nonprofit is to provide a service that is currently not being done or done differently, right? Or done differently. So you can talk about how you may have an after school program and there may be another type of after school program, but what makes yours different from theirs, right? Not that you're putting anyone down, not that you're being disparaging, you're just highlighting the difference. You're highlighting the gap in service. You're highlighting the value that your unique cause brings to the community, right? Not to put down anyone, not to say that yours is better than, but you are offering an explanation, a rationale, and your evidence, right, that your organization is equally as impactful, and in what way. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to brainstorm 3 or 4 ways that you add value to your community. You've got to be very clear about that. So when you're having conversations face to face, you're in networking opportunities, you are able to talk about what value your organization brings to the community, not just to the people in your program. All right. So brainstorm again 3 or 4 ways that you add value to the community, not just to the people who are in your program. So you're able to share these ideas through, again, email, through your social media posts, through your conversations one-on-one, through your proposals and things like that. What do you do differently from other organizations that may touch your target audience? Let's say you're dealing with youth. So you're doing an after school program, right? So how does your after school program really affect what they're learning in school every day, right? What do you do differently? They teach, you teach, right? So what is it that you do differently within your organization? Is it that you have small groups? Is it that you have one-on-one sessions and those things are not afforded to some who have that or need that type of learning style? So again, you want to be able to talk about what you do differently from other organizations or agencies that may touch the same audience, okay? And then this is going to help you make your case stronger when you are talking to your supporters and describing the evidence to support what you're saying and what you're doing. All right. So again, differentiating yourself from other organizations is number 2. And then brainstorming 3 or 4 ways that you add value to the community. All right. Number 3, evidence of value, evidence of value. Being able to examine the ways to show the evidence of your value, right? So these again are ways that you are showing impact to the people who are not in your program, right? So you've got the people who are in your program, that's one audience. But now we're talking about how do we share impact to those that would support our organizations. Our contributors, our donors, our funders are not in our program, right? These are individuals, these are business owners, these are corporations. These are people who are outside and may never come into your program. So they need to know the evidence. They need to be shown that, one, your organization is transparent, is credible, and and does have impact. And you want to just assure them, you want to reassure them, you want to engage, invite, inform, inspire them. And evidence is a way to do that, to let them know how large the problem is, let them know how grave it is, let them know how you all have made the change, the evidence of change. Right? So how do you do that? You can do that through stories, through testimonials, through pictures, through case studies, numbers served, goals achieved, all kinds of ways that you can do that. All right. And who is involved? Is it your board? Is it your participants? Is it your partner? These are the people that can help you share these stories. These are the people that can show the evidence to those within your community, right? They could be one-on-one conversations. They could be through social media posts. They could be through email, all kinds of ways to show evidence of your value. Again, with this evidence or through or by this evidence, your would-be contributors are what? Encouraged, inspired, motivated, influenced to really recognize your organization as one that is impactful and relevant in your community. All right. Number 4 is way of showing impact. Okay. And impact is really, again, the change. Then that's telling your story. Telling your story about why you started, telling your story about how it's important that you recognize the change, telling the story of what has happened or transpired, telling the story of what your goals are, telling the story of the change that you foresee you bringing about. There's all kinds of stories that you can tell, that you can share as relevant impact. Okay. So again, brainstorm how to tell the same story 4 or 5 ways, different ways a month. All right. Brainstorm how to tell the same story 4 or 5 different ways a month. Okay. You could do it through email. You could do it through letter. You could do it through testimonies. Tell your story. It doesn't have to be you have to have 30 different stories. Just grab some compelling, impactful, influential stories and share them. And think of the 4 or 5 different ways that you can share them. Get this, as you are sharing those 4 or 5 different ways, how about your board could share those same 4 or 5 different ways? Your volunteers could share those 4 or 5 different ways, right? You could encourage the participation of your participants as well to be a part of that process. So telling your story of impact is another way of getting in front of your contributors, your donors, your would-be donors, all right? And being very intentional, very thoughtful, and being very efficient in that storytelling. Again, 98% of your donors give because of impact. 98% of your donors give because of impact. All right. Number 5, map the change. Map the change. Map the change. Okay. So you want to create an impact map. You want to create a tool for planning, for guiding that. What you monitor and expressing the value to others. Okay. You want to create that impact map, and your map is a tool for planning, guiding what you monitor and expressing your values to others. Okay. You want to create the 4 or 5 ways to redefine your social and environment and culture mission in a more detailed way that speaks to the change and the difference your organization has made in the community. All right. Create 4 or 5 ways to define your social, environmental, cultural mission in more detail, right? So you want to map that change, a tool of planning and monitoring. So you're able to show when people come into your program, the condition that they're in, they go through your program. What is the program? The program is that series of strategic activities that bring about the change, right? So it processes and it monitors when they come in. This is the condition that they're in. If your program is a year-long program, then after 3 months, this is where they're going to be. In 6 months, this is where they're going to be. In 9 months. So this is a map of change that your donors and your community, your supporters would not know about. Right? So you're able to convey, to converse, to talk about, to share this with them through your exchanges, through email, through your letters, through your newsletters, through your messages to them. Okay. So again, these are ways to what? Show impact. 98% of your donors give because of impact. So you create this map of change, and this is a way that you can communicate. You don't have to cremate the whole thing. You could say within the first 3 months, this is what we do. Look at what we've accomplished in the first 3 months. Things like that. Okay. So just being able to be very clear and detailed with that. So many of you may be saying, well, Jen, how do I start the mapping, right? So a great first step is answering the question, why you matter? Why do you matter? All right. And once you are talking about why you matter, you're able to say, this is why we matter. The individuals, they come into our program. This is the situation, the condition that they're in. This is a dire situation, what has caused that situation for them. And we now are the solution to that situation that they came in. So why do we matter? We matter because at the end and when they leave our program, they will no longer be in this circumstance or in this situation. And what does that do for the entire community? Not just to the people that you're serving. You want to be able to make that connection that the entire community is going to be benefited. So why do you matter in the community, right? You should be able to have that conversation and really map out that stream of thought. This is why we matter. This is why we're relevant. This is why our organization is timely. And this is how we know that the impact that we achieve is really making difference, not only in the lives of the people that we serve, but also to the community at large. All right. So that's going to be very key. Number 6, what quantify what you can, okay? Quantify what you can. So you want to grab 4 or 5 indicators of program change that you plan to achieve within each program or within each campaign or within each annual year, okay? 4 or 5 indicators of program change, all right? The numbers are your measurement. The numbers are your measurement. And this allows you to confirm and give confidence that your program works. Let's say you're saying that out of 100 of our program participants, 90 of them graduated, right? Quantifying that 90 of them achieved successfully and were able to go on and do what you had inspired and hoped that they would be able to do, all right? Let's say that we were talking about quantifying that out of, by the end of the year, we were able to feed 3,000 individuals, right? That quantifies, not just that we feed or that we provide food or that we have a food bank, but you're saying now that we have a food bank that serves 500 individuals every single day. The quantifying really makes that measurement more pronounced for your donors, and it gives them more confidence that the money that they're sharing with your organization is making a real difference, all right? Number 7, really a forward thinking, being able to plan ahead, all right? So again, the definition of impact, as a refresh, is the difference your nonprofit makes, right? There's the work that you do and the result that flows from it. So when we're talking about forward thinking, again, you're sharing this information with people who are not a part of your program, who do not see the day-to-day work of what you do, but they want to know and want to see and be shown the evidence of the work that you do, right? So being able to think forward, imagine the immediate change, the short-term change, and then the projected long-term change. So what is it that we're going to be accomplishing within the next 30, 60 days? This is what we're doing in the next quarter. And by the end of the year, this is what our organization hopes to be able to achieve. Okay, so you're taking them along that journey and letting them know that you've got a clear thinking thought, you've got a strategic plan and a process, and that their ongoing investment is going to help your organization move forward. I find that many people are only speaking about the immediate need. This is what we need right now. And so once that need has been met, then we're on to the next immediate need. I propose to you that if you're sharing with them this ongoing thought, put them in the mind frame of your work is ongoing. Your work is beyond the next 30 days. Your work is beyond the next 60 or 90 days, right? So you're sharing with them, these are the things that we have coming up within the next 60 days. We're really excited about this campaign, really excited about this program. And then after that, these are the things that we have planned and who we hope to be able to change and support through our program, right? So you're bringing them along the work line, the strategic plan, the goals that your organization will be accomplishing this year. So forward thinking and sharing that is going to be very key. Again, I find that many people are focusing on events, right? Events. And then after that event, we've got to come up with the next thing, as opposed to, we're really excited about this event and we're looking forward to those of you who can attend. For those of you who can't attend, there's another opportunity opportunity for, and a way for you all to support our work. We're going to be having blah, blah, blah. Okay. So again, taking them along the journey, giving and showing them that the immediate work that you're doing is not the only work. All right. So begin to communicate to your donors and your supporters from the immediate change, the short-term change, and then the projected long-term change. And that gives you more content to be able to put into your emails, into your social media posts, into your newsletters, and your donor touches. Okay. It's a great cultivation way as well. All right. Indicators alone do not show impact, rather they give glimpses into the work that you are doing, your activities, the work that you are doing. That's the activities and the changes that are occurring in the field that you're working in. Okay, so that's the outcome. So you know the work that you're doing and you know what the projected outcome should be. Okay, so creating those indicators, creating that evidence, that path of change, that map we were talking about earlier, and sharing that again, different ways that you can share that with your donors, your partners, your collaborators. It gives them evidence, it gives them confidence, it gives them the assurance, and it educates. It educates them, it inspires them, it influences them to know that the work that you're doing is impactful. All right. Number 8, monetize what you can. All right, monetize what you can. So you want to be able to show the social return on investment, the expanded value added statements. So the return on investments, let's say that you are giving them evidence. Let's say you're talking about a sponsor. Okay, that's an easy one. A sponsor, you want them to provide a $5, $10, $15,000 sponsorship to your program. So what's the return on investment? What is the way that they monetize or show the value of that sponsorship, right? What are you going to be able to return back to them in terms of viewership, in terms of access to your audience, things like that, right? So there's that return on investment, a way to explain and justify and give confidence through the investment. Expanded added value statements are really those things that talk about the value beyond this event, the value to the people that you're serving, the value to how this is going to, the money that's raised or the money that's coming in is going to be able to reduce in community some other expense, right? So you're sharing them and bringing them into the life of the economic impact. All right. So let's say you have a meal. Let's say you're working at a homeless shelter and you're serving meals, right? So you're saying and we're talking about monetizing and having that showing impact, the way we monetize. Okay. So let's say you're serving meals and your cost per meal comes out to, let's say, $5.65, right? Cost per meal, $5.65, monetizing that meal. And you're saying we would love for you to be able to sponsor 5 meals, right? So 5 meals would be almost $100, right? So or $25, almost $30. Okay. So you're now able to say that with your contribution of this amount, this is how many meals that you're going to be able to serve or be able to support or to be able to help us to provide. Okay. So let's say you are doing you're doing tutoring or something, right? So we're talking about how much does it cost for a child to learn how to read, and then how much does it cost if a child doesn't know how to read, right? What does that cost to the society? What does that cost in the area of criminalization, right? Many of our men and women who are in prison system have a 3rd or 4th grade education, right? And so it costs more money to keep them in jail than it would be to send them through your program, right? So again, just being able to share with your donors and put it into context that the money that they are giving your organization, 1, is valuable, and 2, what it's going to enable them to support you in providing. Okay. So don't be afraid of monetizing and sharing that in the way of impact. By the support of our work, we'll be able to do that. Okay. Let's see, social return on investment pretty much is like what we were just talking about, but useful because it can improve your program management through better planning and evaluation, right? So the social return on investment are those things that you really can't evaluate with a number. It's more of an emotion, it's more of a feeling, it's a more of people feeling good and having those life skills. What does that mean? That social return on investment means that people who have these life skills, or people who have the young people who have better communicating skills, people who are able to who go through our anger management courses socially, what is that return on investment, right? And so this is a way of really showing and sharing another level of impact. So you being very clear about the change and the increase of evidence that that change brings about, and how you communicate that to your constituents. Okay, again, you're talking to the people that are in your program. That's one audience, but that's not the audience that's supporting you. Those that don't know what you do and they're curious about what is the return on this investment, like what do we get out of this, right? People give not because of what you do, but they give because of the feeling, the feeling um of what they feel about your organization, right? And that feeling comes from knowledge. People give because of impact and what they feel about that impact, how important and how irrelevant that is to them. And so your ability to be able to share and show impact in various ways keeps them engaged, keeps them informed, keeps them connected, right? And shows forth that what you are doing is important and relevant, and that they want to be a part of it. All right. Number 10, when, when, when do you show and share impact? All the time, all the time, all the time, all the time. Okay. So I want you to think about how many ways are you showing and sharing impact right now, every single day, right? If you're only using social media, but some of your donors are not on social media, are you really showing impact to as many people as you could, right? Are you doing it through your thank you notes? Are you doing it to your face-to-face conversations? Are you doing it with phone calls and making introductions, scheduling meetings? Are you doing it through engaging others on your team and giving them the tools and the ability to do that on your website? I mean, there's countless ways, through your photos, through your testimonials, right? So I want you to think of at least 3 ways that every single day you can show a different level and a different type of impact, all right? This should not take you more than 25 minutes. Honestly, this should not take you more than 25 minutes, okay? So I want you all to be inspired. I want you to be motivated. I want you to be very clear that the work that you do is so important. It is so important. And I want you to know that without your organization, what would be at stake? What would be at stake if you and your organization were not there? Okay. I want to encourage you to visit my website, www.j D's and David Yarbrough.com, JD's and David Yarbrough.com. My organization and my company is committed to helping your organization be successful in the work that you do, and ensuring that you have the tools and the resources needed to just really make a huge difference in the community that you serve. I often share with people that I started this work when I was young at the Kingsport Housing Authority, when I was in college. And I started this work as an intern, and I can tell you that that was over 30 years ago. And I've gone on to work with some of the largest organizations nationally and internationally, helping thousands of organizations all across the country, again, internationally as well, start and grow and sustain their nonprofit businesses. And one of the things that I learned is that the only difference between the larger organizations and the smaller organizations is knowledge, is that expertise. That those larger larger organizations have people in place to do the work of fundraising, to do the work of grant writing, to do the work of donor cultivation, right? So they have those people in place that are focused on those income generating tasks. That's what their job is, right? And so one of the things that I really learned quickly is if I were able to bridge that connection with the organizations that are just being started, that in my role as a professional fundraiser in helping you, kind of weed through the problem, get straight to the success and to the solution so that you're not having to try to do and to learn and go all of that, that I take, we can take all of that off of your shoulders to do that for you at a very affordable way, at a variable, affordable rate. Okay. So again, if you are at a place where you're saying, you know what, Jen, I need to talk to you because we're spending a whole lot of time trying to figure out what to do and how to do it. And we are really struggling with getting, traction. Why? Because you're so busy doing program, which is a valuable thing. But we've got to have that impact conversation because this is what our donors give to. 98% of our donors, 98% of our donors, 98% of our donors give because of impact. All right. So you've got to have the time, you've got to have the skill set, and we want to help you do that, right? We don't want you to have to be frustrated or discouraged or lost in the process. That we've created several amazing packages that are designed to help you, that are affordable, that fits within your budget, to help you get this work done. All right. So again, I hope that this was helpful. The things that I have shared, the 10 ways you are able to execute right away. If you would like my team to do it for you, if you say, Jen, you're going to write my letters for me, yes, we will. Jen, you're going to tell us what to say on our posts and how to manage our posts, manage our emails, manage our letters going out to our donors. You're going to give us, Jen, the text to make introductions to people that we don't already know. You're going to help us, Jen, put together our sponsorship packages. All of that is a yes. Okay. Yes, because we want to make sure that you are articulating impact in as many ways as possible, because that's the quickest way to money, right? 98% of your donors, 98% of your donors, and that's any type of donor. That's a funding, that's a grant funder. That's a major donor. That's a monthly donor, right? So we're writing all of your monthly donor asks. We're writing all of your case studies. We're writing all of the things to invite people to increase their gifts, okay? And we're doing that through what? Sharing impact, okay? So it's not so much in the ask. The ask is not what people give to. The people give because of what they feel about your organization. How do they come to feel about your organization? That's through the articulation of impact. Okay. So I hope that this was clear. I hope that this was helpful. And I want you all to begin to really walk into a season of change, this, especially right now, in the midst of the current economic situation. Giving to your organization at this point needs to be able to pivot programmatically as well as financially. All right. And so this is one of those areas that has to be a priority, because as things change in the world, and donors are impacted and affected. However, again, remember, we do the work that businesses cannot do. We do the work that government cannot do. And the work that you do in your community is impactful. It is important and it is relevant. Okay. So again, my name is Jennifer Yarbrough. I am your nonprofit expert, and I'm really excited to be able to show these 10 ways to show impact to your community, to your prospective donors, to your current donors, and then to grow their donor giving levels with this added evidence of why they should support your work. All right. If you have any questions at all, please, my information is provided, and I'd be happy to have a conversation with you. You can go to JD as in Yarbrough, JD as in Yarbrough, .com to my website. My email is Jen, Jen, at jenthegrandguru.com, Jen, Jen, at jenthegrandguru.com, or you can feel free to call my office at 442-242-7748. Okay. I look forward to you all sharing and showing exactly how your organization is proving and providing great impact in your community. If there's any way that I can help you, please do not hesitate to reach out. All right, guys, take care.